Hi, you guys. I wanted to talk about some events that led up to me discovering heavy toxic smell and fumes in my apartment. About a month ago, I walked out of my apartment because I usually try to avoid the people who live in my building that wait around outside, that have access listening access into my apartment, visual or listening access into my apartment. And apartment 101, 103, other people in my building, they get alerted when I walk out of my door through an applications like home automation, or if they put some type of camera or listening device, they get alerted when I walk out, and that's when they start following me or I get stalked. To and from my destination, some of them come out with their dogs. So on this one evening, I walk out, and the guy with the white van in 101 or 103, they're outside. And then now, as I reach the street, I pass them, I reach the street, and I notice like one of the girls start videotaping me or taking a picture. But you have to understand, they have so many vehicles with cameras in the windshield. Even if they happen not to be outside and I go outside and I leave, they're on me because those cameras, just by motion walking by, they're going to get a photo of me. They're going to make money off of me. And then now they get to stalk me and make more money off of me, off of my person. Unjustifiably, unwarranted, illegally. And the cops, ever since they were coming in to get and go and doing the things they were doing, it all intensified after, again, I was alerting the public that I was being poisoned. So as I'm going outside, I noticed two boys, older boys, close to 20, maybe one's younger, comes out, and he hangs around with the stalkers. Sometimes they all congregate in the pool house where the computers and the workout room is here at Legacy Landing. They all hang out like it's a party. It's free money, it's a money grab, and it's not legal. So as I'm outside, I'm by the street on my phone looking down, and I know something was about to happen because they were walking one direction, opposite, away from me. But when they noticed where I was, one of them kind of pointed at me, the taller one, and they started coming my way. So I had my camera on, and I was talking, and one of them starts mouthing off to me, and I've never spoken to them before. I don't know them, but they're coming at me with like a hostile look, and the smaller one starts mouthing off. And I've noticed where if I just completely ignore them all the time, it just gets worse. Everything just intensifies. So I said, who are you talking to? I'm not even looking at you. And, as he started mouthing off to me, as they got closer to me, the taller one gets on his phone and does a quick text message. All of a sudden, the rest of the stalkers from Cedar Brook and others from my apartment complex, and then people from the community I don't even know, start coming out and stalking me in their cars. It's like a flash flood of a crowd of cars. So that guy was calling me names, and I called him names back, and I said, stop stalking people. You're a horrible stalker. Stop it. And meanwhile, more stalkers are coming out of my apartment building like they normally do. There's a girl in 201 or 203. She has a dog. Her boyfriend and I have talked, and he's admitted that they're doing this to me because he also takes part in it. His girlfriend heavily takes part in it. So after that day, when those two guys came out after me, and then a big flood of other cars followed, days after that, I was leaving the house to do errands, trying not to leave as much as possible because I'm just tired of these people being in my face. I'm tired of I just want them to leave me alone, stay away from me and leave me alone. And they've been going out of their way to wait outside my apartment or the entrance and just start mouthing off to me if I have my phone in my hand, if I have my flashlight on, if it's nighttime, I'm throwing out the trash. They'll just harass me for having my phone in my hand. They'll accuse me of me videotaping them, when I will videotape them once they start mouthing off to me. But it's the same thing with my manager, Heidi Cope. She was on this campaign where they can have cameras on their cars. They could put cameras pointing out their windows. They can stalk me, but Lord heaven forbid, I can't videotape them. So they've started harassing me, intensifying that narrative on me. It's gotten worse. So I had to leave to go do some things in town, and I noticed when the police were stalking me to the places I was going, there was also highway patrol involved doing this to me, driving up right next to me in parking lots, stopping, they're typing. There was a few of them. They were in red sedans. And then there was these security guards in company cars stalking me as well. But you know, what can you do? You just ignore it. You go about your business. And as I go to the bank, I notice I'm being looked at very oddly by one of the men that work in the bank. And then I look in the back, and there's a man that used to come in to get and go and be a problem, be a nuisance. He used to take gas that was not his. And lo and behold, he works in the bank where I now bank. And so I figure there's something weird going on. So I asked the teller what's going on, because this guy, every time I come in the bank, he is kind of like standing by me, looking at me, bending over behind walls, peering around the wall, like looking at me very strange. And I asked her, what's going on? And she goes, oh, we're told that you've been using the bathroom on the side of the building. So this is what I'm talking about. I can't even go to the bank because the people that work there have already gone to my prior job and harassed me, and will work with the community and saying the most outlandish things about me. So I said, no, that's never happened. I go, who is that guy that keeps, was following me throughout the building? He even walked to the end of the building when I was leaving the bank. Who is he? And it turns out it's the president of State Bank in Norwalk. So he is taking part because, it's obvious, I'm not using the bathroom on the side of buildings. It's ridiculous. So this is the type of stuff they try to spread. So I tried calling him to talk to him, to let him know that wasn't the case, and I don't appreciate the fact that he was kind of going along with the charade. But he would not call me back. So all this time when I'm leaving my house, that's when I come home. And again, I'm being stalked as I leave my apartment throughout town by people in my building and people in the community and the police and the highway patrol. And what's happening? I come home to find that I'm getting sick. And as I go up to one of my vents, because I try to cover some of them, I'm just hit in the face with the most horrible toxic smell and fumes. And my face starts getting agitated. It starts stinging. And I notice that somehow these, I don't know if it's pesticides, I don't know what type of poison it is, but they flooded my vents, my air vents, with poison. And when you're going about your day, you naturally reach into your refrigerator. You'll get leftovers, you'll get sauces, you'll get spices. And I just started getting really, really sick. I started getting so sick. My liver and my area, my left abdominal area was in so much pain. I would just like get really weak, really dizzy. I felt so sick, so weak. I couldn't breathe. The whole apartment smelled like gas, some type of poison. I opened what windows I could. And the video I showed of me cooking salmon, I don't know what they're putting in my leftovers, but whatever they've sprayed, whatever they've put, there's cross-contamination. Like if I go warm up tea in the microwave, I was getting sick, and I started smelling the tea bags, smelling my vitamins, and they just went insanely crazy. Most of my stuff is ruined. Stuff that I would buy would disappear. Another item that happened with was some yogurt I bought. I was with a guy named Francis Doll. Francis, Francis, Doll, Doll. He, people in town who used to be your friend or talk to you, now they'll get close to you or help you only to screw you over. So what I mean by that is, again, when I left my house, he had given me a ride to go to the food bank because I'm not allowed to have a job. I can't even go to the bank. And there's another story I'm going to tell you about the bank where I have no privacy when I do transactions. But so when I'm with Francis, what they do is they turn their GPS on. And as I was with him, as he took me a few places, we were getting stalked. People with cameras in their windshields were following us. And what happens? I come home, and again, things missing, they reappear. I had bought some yogurt, and one of them disappeared, only for it to reappear, and it looked as if it hadn't been opened. But when I opened it, I saw something I never seen before with yogurt. There was like a frozen middle. A part of the middle of it was frozen. And I've never, out of all the years I've bought yogurt, and out of all the years I'll have like a crappy refrigerator where it freezes half your stuff. I've never had yogurt freeze like that. Well, against my better judgment, I ate it, and I was so sick I thought I was gonna die. I literally thought I was gonna die. So one morning I told myself, I need to go to the doctor. I can't breathe. My apartment's completely flooded with some type of poison. And, if you touch this stuff, you touch your face, this stuff's all over you. And this is my food, my pantry, this is my supplements. Turns out they sprayed that stuff in my dryer. My dryer doesn't work. They've come in and they've taken out some of the outlets that I videotaped last year or earlier in the year, last year. They came in and they switched them when I wasn't home. The hole underneath the faucet where that plumber snake was coming out from the back of the wall, they patched up that hole. But there's still surveillance in here. They're still listening and watching me. And I don't understand how people can be so evil and get off on that and try to kill someone. So the reason I'm telling this story is I had to go to the hospital. I literally thought I was going to die. During that time, I also had some soap, some Dove soap. It was like liquid soap. and I used it. I had it for like maybe 6 months. And I just remember getting real sick after I used it. I got a really bad UTI. And I was laying down all the time. And the next thing I know, I figured, what's making me so sick? And I go smell it. It's like a trial size. And it smells like putrid. It's like so putrid. And, when I'm a girl, so if I put soap on a wash rag and I wash my ass, I wash my body, and if there's something toxic or something full of bacteria, where even stuff I wash my body with is compromised, that got me really sick. I had to do vinegar enemas because I didn't have insurance at the time. I don't have a car. I was stuck here with all these fumes in my apartment. So most of the time I had to lay down. And so I tell myself I have to get out of here. I have to go to the hospital. And there's no way I'm gonna call the ambulance and the police and tell them, oh yeah, by the way, you're poisoning me. Please take me to the emergency room. Hell no, I am not getting in an ambulance truck with the Norwalk, Iowa ambulance department. And I'm not calling the police to say, look what you guys are doing to me. I don't trust these people. They're not right in the head. These people are psychopaths. They're murderers. And I don't trust them. And now they have these people in my apartment complex, like Donald Trump has the people that attacked our Capitol and that now are trying to attack our FBI and yada, yada, yada. These people have already done attempted murder on me with trying to poison me to death. So one morning I get up and I tell myself I'm going to the emergency room. I can't take it. So I like take off like 2 or 3 miles. I don't know, maybe it's 3 miles. I go from Norwalk and I go to Des Moines. I left the house really early in the morning because I wanted to avoid the stalkers. I wanted to be left alone. I wanted to go get medical help in peace. Because if I go to the store shopping, if I go try to get a job, if I do my banking, these people are in my face and they're trying to create hostility and division with every contact in my life, and trying to block me from just living, from having an income, from having any friends. So I took off, and as I'm halfway to Des Moines, I have cars stalking me. They found me. And so I go into a hotel. I'm not in Norwalk no more. I'm in Des Moines. And I decided I was going to get an ambulance from that location. I felt safer going into Des Moines, getting an ambulance, and going to emergency. So long story short, the ambulance shows up, and I don't want to tell them exactly what's going on because I don't trust them. And there's a sheriff that shows up, and he comes in, he's asking, the girl at the counter at the hotel, just what happened. And he's looking at me, kind of giving me like these weird looks, and I didn't feel comfortable going near him. So I get in the ambulance, and I tell the guy that I'm just, I've eaten some stuff that's been compromised. I've been getting really sick. And the next thing I know, this ambulance, because I wanted to say I'm being harassed, stalked. I'm now being poisoned by the police and people in my apartment complex who are advised to do unlawful things to me from the police, because the police aren't happy that I've been talking about the things they've been doing to me that's been violating my rights, and it's criminal. So they don't like the fact that I've been talking on YouTube. But I tried having conversations with Chief Staples. I've tried having conversations with these people, and they refuse to talk to you like they're above the law, and instead they just intensify their criminal behavior towards you. So as I'm in the ambulance with this guy, I'm just like, I ate some stuff that was compromised, I believe, and my environment is really like very toxic. And then he goes, "Oh yeah, you bank at you bank at State Bank." I'm like, "What?" And I've never seen this guy before. It turns out he knows what transactions I've been making at my bank. He tells me, "Oh yeah, you went and you got a new ATM card." And I said, "Yeah, I got a new ATM card because my apartment keeps getting broken into. People have apparently gotten copies of keys to my apartment, and things go missing, or if they return, they're poisoned. I end up eating something and end up getting sick, and then when I smell it, it smells like you can't even stick your nose in it. That's how toxic it is. You start feeling sick." So this guy never has ever been in the bank when I've been there. Never, because I keep track of my surroundings when I bank. And I've had to go there because my ATM went missing. So I was very disturbed by that. So I tell him which hospital I want to go to, and he starts talking me out of the hospital that I should go to. "Oh, go to this one, it's closer." He kept pushing and pushing it. I didn't really want to go to that other hospital. I had already talked to a previous hospital. Well, we finally get to the hospital, and I end up waiting 6 hours, and there's, I felt so sick. I couldn't drink enough water. When you're poisoned, you can't drink enough water. I was freezing to death. And it was very humid outside. I was freezing to death. I just thought I was going to pass out. And the nurse came and took my blood a couple of times as I was sitting in the lobby area. And I noticed the sheriff was just sitting outside, the one that came from Norwalk. He followed us in the ambulance, and he was sitting outside. And I told the nurse, like, for real, what was going on. And despite I was poisoned, and there is another issue going on that happened at the physical therapy appointment I went to, because initially it was just supposed to be a drug test. I didn't find out it was a physical therapy session or test until I was leaving the building after my drug test, and she said, "Here, pick this up." So I'll get into that. So long story short, I'm trying to get medical help. They call my name. I go to the back, and all of a sudden it's like they ask me what's going on, and as I tell them I've eaten some food in my apartment and I started getting really sick. I smelled a few of the contents of the things I was consuming, and they smelled really toxic, to the point to where you couldn't even smell very long. And then I said also my vents somehow got flooded with highly toxic, I don't know if it's pesticides or poisons, but it's lethal. And that's why I'm here. And the next thing I know, this girl starts trying to accuse me of being mentally ill. She starts cutting me off. And I go, "Excuse me, I don't appreciate you trying to be the judge and jury when you don't know me, and you're not even like a psychologist." And I go, "I've worked around elderly people, and I understand and know the signs of mental illness." I go, "I have some of the items that have been making me sick, some of the items that have disappeared and reappeared." I go, "Why don't you take a look for yourself?" And she said no. She's like, talking down to me. Well, I ended up leaving there early because I had to catch a bus to go home, and the buses stop at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I was already screwed. So they refused to help me. They refused to give me the full medical services that I needed. All they did was take my blood. They kept me sitting there for 6 hours. So as I was leaving, I noticed something, and it was the sheriff. That same sheriff who came into the hotel early in the morning, drove with the ambulance to the emergency, sitting outside the emergency. I catch him badgering the nurse who is taking my blood in my vitals, asking, what did she say? Who did she say did this? On and on and on. And that nurse was looking down, like, you know, when you scold an animal and the animal just looks down, when you've seen people do that. That's what was going on. And I did not feel safe at all. So I got my butt and I went to across the street to the bus. And of course I got stalked all the way home. But what I'm trying to say, guys, is I'm in imminent danger. I'm being blocked from having any income. I'm not safe in my own apartment. My neighbors are on me like leeches, like vultures. And the minute I turn my back and I'm minding my own business, as usual, ignoring them, they're in my apartment trying to kill me with toxic, lethal chemicals. And my medical treatment got blocked. These people are interfering, this police and this sheriff and all these authorities who are supposed to be role models, I'm supposed to trust, have become criminalistic towards me, seeking me out by utilizing the community and then creating obstacles and blocking me from whether I'm going to the hospital or whether I'm going to the bank. It's, or I'm trying to get a job. It's, and they're coming into they've been coming into my living space. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be finding out the name of that sheriff. And it turns out just the other day, I was talking to somebody. Again, in my apartment, I have no privacy. Everybody has access to listen to me because of the application, the Bluetooth, these things that they've installed in my apartment. So, long story short, just the other day, I look out my window and that sheriff is here at my apartment complex talking with the people who stalk me. And this guy, I went through hell to get my behind to the emergency. I had to travel on foot a good 3 miles minimum. And then, I'm told by the ambulance guy not to go to the hospital I want to go to. I highly suspect he wanted me to go to a different hospital because they have more control and they know the people that work there. And they knew they could abuse their authority with them having a negative impact on the people who are supposed to medically help me and weaponizing them against me to just harass me and say, oh, you're mentally ill. Oh, no, be quiet. Or just interrupt me. And then not even help me. And then that sheriff guy to be badgering the nurse. There's no criminal investigation. I've done nothing wrong. I haven't been arrested. I haven't been affiliated, involved in any wrongdoing. And I have these people of authority trying to murder me by the means of their community. This is why I'm upset. Who am I supposed to have come in and do police reports? Who am I supposed to come in and have document? Oh, I'm told, okay, well, go contact this agency. But that's like an investigation that takes a long time. I need someone who has authority to have police, because I called the FBI and FBI didn't even call me back here in Iowa. And these police, I have a feeling the FBI may be biased and know the cops, because that guy in the ambulance I never seen before. He was never in the bank when I was in the bank. These people all know my business. They know if I'm pooping or peeing in the morning. So, and then the sheriff is here parked outside my window, interacting with the people who stalk me. Then winds up at the emergency room berating a nurse about what I said and who I said it about. and trying to censor my ability to communicate what happened to me. So I'm going to make this video. It's not going to be perfect, but there's a lot of other things that have happened to me. I'm going to make another video tonight. And I'll see you guys on the next video. I just need someone who has authority out there to get some officer, someone I can trust, to come in and document the things that have been poisoned, my environment, things that have been stolen, things that have been vandalized, the holes in the walls that they've made or tried to cover up, the outlets they've switched out. I'm requesting, this is an SOS for someone to reach out to someone who has authority, to have an officer who's unbiased, or some type of officer or somebody to come in and document, because I'm not going to have a place to live in a few days, and I'm going to get into that with everything that they've been doing to me. And again, my landlord, Jeremy Barons, has not stopped. And the maintenance people, my landlord, allowing these people in 103, 109 to come into my apartment and put my life in jeopardy on a continuous basis, to the point to where I can't even eat and touch things, a lot of things in my apartment. I need help, guys. Please. All right, guys, I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to talk about some other things that happened. I'm sorry if this video is not perfect, but they're trying to kill me before my federal court date. I don't have a date yet. And the reason is that they've created so much obstacles with me just trying to go to the store, go get a job, go to the hospital. It's always one thing after another. And when you're not allowed to flourish and have a life, and they're literally trying to slowly squeeze and suck the life out of you, and then poison you in your environment, and then steal from you and vandalize your apartment. You know, I didn't sign up for this. This apartment, you know, I didn't sign up to be watched and listened to in my apartment illegally, to have my stuff poisoned. This is a fraud lease. My landlord completely frauded me, and my life is in jeopardy. So whoever's out there, please try to get in touch with authorities in Iowa so I can document these things, because my life depends on it. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Be good to each other. I'll be uploading one soon, right after this. I finally got internet. Thanks, guys. Bye. And I got internet thanks to someone who donated some money to me. And I want to thank you so much. You know who you are. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Please help me. Please don't let them kill me.